Hello everyone and welcome to third Premodern video recorded on Magic Online. I only have 3 minutes because my opponent, which is the same opponent as in the last two videos, Andrea and Andre, is gonna challenge me to play match. So I'm just gonna talk about the deck quickly. We're gonna play Goblins today, pretty straightforward. One thing that I think is crazy is that this deck is actually playing a second color, which is green, only for Naturalized. It has like a couple other different cards in the sideboard, like you can see this color here, but it's just mainly splashing for Naturalized, which just really shows you a lot about the format. They're just infinite artifacts and enchantments. Almost every deck plays some, and they can be really problematic for this deck as well, and it just solves a lot of problems. Besides that, it's just your regular Goblin deck. You have some land disruption in form of Rishadan Port and Wasteland. By the way, I apologize, I'm not using like the Premodern what it's called, cards. You can see the modern versions of these cards here. I'm using Mana Traders, so I can't really choose which versions do I get. But yeah, we just have to work with this. I hope you don't mind that much. I will obviously also prefer to play with the older version of the cards, but it is what it is. This is just basically kind of the Goblin deck that we used to see in Legacy. It's obviously not good anymore. The power creep is real, so you don't really see Goblins in Legacy nowadays, barring maybe some people who are still playing it even nowadays, just because it's Goblins. So you just have the classic. You have the ideal start is obviously to just start with the Goblin Lucky. If they can't stop it, then you're just gonna win pretty easily. You're just gonna put 4 drops, 5 drops into play. Even a Matron is great because then you can just search for those two, like the Siege King or the Link Reader, and just cheats on mana so much that it's just really hard to lose. Obviously, it's a 1/1. Anything that gets into way can stop it. But sometimes play. They maybe play a slow deck, or they play like a 1/1. You can Incinerator it. Yeah, it's just a really strong card. Unfortunately, Ether Vial isn't legal in Premodern, so we don't have that. We do see some couple other 1-drops in form of Fanatic. It's actually crazy that people thought that because damage on the stack isn't a thing anymore, Fanatic would be unplayable, but it still kind of holds its value. There's a lot of X1s in the format. It can help you get the Lucky through. Andre is going to be playing Rebels today. I'm just gonna quickly put it on screen. I'm not really familiar with the deck, but let's just quickly look at it. Yeah, so it's just blue white. It has like swords, counter spell, bunch of other counters, and then Mother of Runes. And these rebels are, I assume, the ones that search for other rebels. And then you have couple goldfish cards. I don't really know what this is. I guess we're gonna find out. I'm also playing this deck for the first time, so I'm not gonna be playing optimally. I don't really even think that this is necessarily the purpose of this video. It's just kinda for you to have fun, to maybe explore a deck that you are not playing yourself. You can maybe see how it plays out, and it's also for people who maybe don't play Premodern at all. They can just kind of see how the format plays out, because it's very different from the modern Magic, and maybe they can get into it. As I'm going to be making these videos, I'm obviously gonna get more familiar with the format. I might start playing the same decks again and stuff like that, so I'll probably get better, so you can kind of see my journey as I explore this format. But I'm not gonna claim that I'm gonna play perfect. I don't really even want to apologize for making mistakes, because I'm just playing the deck for the first time. I'm not really used to what my opponent can do, how they're gonna sideboard and stuff like that. Okay, it seems like they might not be able to stop Thermal Lucky. They can still obviously have a Swords, which is pretty likely, because he didn't have a turn 1 creature. He even could have had it, but he was just afraid that I have the Cycling guy or Mock Fanatic. So if he had the sword and another one wanna play, he just wanted to sword there. Okay, Lucky's down. Unfortunately, I cannot wasteland his land. This actually happens in Premodern quite a bit. There's just a lot of basics running around. Is he playing Wasteland himself? Let me check. He's not, so I can just play this, I guess. I don't really want to play the Wasteland because maybe he will play a wrong land if he doesn't see it or something. But sometimes it's better to play Wasteland preemptively because you might draw, you know, like a Rishadan port and you want to have the Wasteland in play already and stuff like that, but those things are pretty minor. Okay, so now I think regardless, I'm just gonna Wasteland him, so let's just do that. Problem is that even if we hit with this lucky, it's not like even that good. So I kind of hope that he having a double swords is pretty lucky though. That being said, like it wouldn't really do that much. Like it would be good to like maybe put this sharpshooter in the play, but I don't have any of the like real payoff cards, so it's not actually like that bad that he had the 2 swords. I'm kind of, oh, he doesn't have a land. That's great. Ooh, and we drew Matron. All right, things are going perfect. Same as last time. If the first match takes forever, I think I timed out in the last one. I'm gonna record only 1 match, but if it's fast, I'm gonna play 2 because I want to video to like maybe not be like only 50 minutes or whatever. I kind of want to showcase the deck. Okay, so what are we gonna search for? Obviously Ringleader is great, but we don't have 4 mana. We do have a Prospector though. I think that's what I'm gonna get. Like even something like Gempalm Incinerator or War Chief would be pretty good. Just War Chief, you know, given the fact that he has haste, it's really good with Pile Driver. It can also give haste to the Sharpshooter, which can matter. Gempalm Incinerator is obviously great. It's just gonna be a 2-for-1 at some point, but I think that we're pretty far ahead, and the one way we can lose is that we just kind of flood out. And Ringleader should go around that nicely. One thing going against it is that his deck has a bunch of counters. So maybe like if I just don't draw a land next turn, I play like a Prospector. Then I maybe Ringleader next turn, then he already has a mana leak mana up. I guess I can still just play Prospector and psych both Prospector and Matron to play Ringleader, but that doesn't seem that great. That all being said, I still think it's the strongest option. So yeah, I'm just gonna grab that. You can also always just get another Matron to like get the max value. But I just don't really think that I wanna spend additional free mana just to put a 1/1 into play. Alright, it seems like he's missing land drops again, so it should be pretty easy. And I even drew the land. Right, perfect. It's been a long time since I've cast Ringleader, but it does feel pretty good. Anytime you miss with it, it's just such a bummer, but we certainly didn't miss this time around. And it even has haste for this Pile Driver. Alright, I don't really think he can get out of this at this point. It's not really like he can just like sweep me in some way, and even if he did, I had a lot of things in tank still, so. Alright, let me take a look at his deck list again. Because, like, I'm not sure I want this Pyrokinesis. Like, you can say Rebels and you would just assume that they have infinite creatures in play, but they didn't actually play that many. I guess they, like, the creatures search for additional creatures, so, like, if that thing goes on for a while, then maybe Pyrokinesis is good. Also, just Mother of Runes can be a huge pain in the ass. I think we definitely do want an answer against that, and it can help us get Lucky True. I definitely want this Sharpshooter, that is for sure. Not really sure why there is a Goblin King in the sideboard. I guess if you play against like a red deck, being able to search for a creature that gives all of your creatures Mountain Wall can be pretty good. But I don't really think that it's for this particular matchup. It seems like he doesn't really have anything for Naturalizes, so that's an easy cut. Let's look at his sideboard. He has Circle of Protection Red, which can definitely, and Chills. Okay, so he does actually have some really good targets for this, and he even plays 2 Enlightened Tutors to search for them, so maybe Naturalize actually isn't that bad. Now that I think about it a little bit more. What is this? Destroy target artifact. That doesn't seem great. Alright, I think I do want the Pyrokinesis. Not sure about his Prospector. I think I should keep in one. Maybe I will want a Matron for it in some weird situation. But this doesn't really seem like a matchup for it. Like, being explosive isn't that great against counters. You just like a bunch of creatures to play something big and then they counter it. That just doesn't seem that great. Maybe I should even cut the second one, because all the other cards just seem kind of great. I think I want the Fanatics. I think I want the Matrons. I think I want the War Chiefs. Like, maybe I can cut a War Chief. Seems like kind of the weakest card. So it's basically either Prospector or War Chief. I think I do want to have the access to Prospector in my deck. Oh, I need to cut 2 cards? Okay, well then I think I will have to cut it. Sorry. And I guess 3 mana 2 haste isn't necessarily what we need. All the other cards just seem way more powerful than that. Maybe I could cut a Siege Gang just because it's a 5 mana card. It's kind of bad against like Mana League, Blue Elemental Blast, that type of stuff. And if you need it, you can search for it. Actually, that kind of does make sense to me. Sure, let's try it like this. First time playing the deck, obviously, you know. Maybe I missed something. Maybe I do want the... I think there is a 4 Naturalize in the sideboard, right? Like, maybe I do want that. But I think 3 is a good number. You don't really want to draw it too often. 3 is like kind of the number where you draw 1 most of the games. But, you know, a lot of the games he's not really gonna have the enchantment, or it's gonna take a while for him to have it. So if I play 4, there's like a chance that I draw it way too often in my opening hand. Plus, there is like a risk that I just draw 2 and then it's just like pretty bad. I can just lose a game because of it. So I think it makes sense to have 3, but you know, maybe those chills and Circle of Protection Red are so powerful that you do really want an answer against that. Also, if the matchup is like really good and he's just kind of relying on those, that might also be a thing. But for now, I think 3 makes sense. Alright, so he has a factory. Maybe he'll try to... I actually forgot about the fact that he plays 4 factories, and that's also a target for Naturalize. So that might actually be a reason to have 4. But I didn't really think about the factory. You know, I'm learning as we go. Let's see. I really hope he goes for it, because then I can just put a Siege Gang into play and that will be it. Alright, he did he smelled the Naturalize. I obviously wouldn't make the attack if I didn't have it, like, you know, most of the time. He knows I'm like a reasonably good player. So I think he gave me enough credit that I just like didn't miss the fact that he has factory in play. Let's just play the more expensive card. Maybe if I draw a land, I can go both Fanatic and Naturalize in the same turn or something. Plus, I can maybe discard this Mock Fanatic to Pyrokinesis, which is like the old version of Fury. For the new players, you're probably familiar with Fury. This is kind of the same thing, but it's obviously way worse because it's way harder to cast it for the actual mana. But it's kind of a similar card. Still pretty good. Nowhere near the power level of the actual Fury, which is a crazy card, but still pretty good. Alright, there's the land. I'm just gonna put a Sharpshooter in play. It just uses my mana the best. He'll probably Mana League this. He will probably use Mana League against this, maybe. I was actually kind of hoping that he does that because the Sharpshooter wasn't really doing that much. And maybe my Siege King can resolve or something. So far, the way the games were playing out, I think the Prospector would be really bad. But I'm not convinced about this Pyrokinesis either. It's also possible that he boarded some of his X1s out just because I have like Fanatics, Siege Gangs and stuff. Not really sure what he did. But he needs to have some creatures in his deck, right? Like... Impulse, sure. What a weird deck though. I guess the idea is that you're just like kind of sitting on the cleric that searches for different clerics with your mana up, and if you care about something, you can like, you know, mana leak it, or but if they don't really play anything, you can just search for a guy or something. This strategy seems really good against the slower decks, like the replenish decks, maybe even like the big green decks, or any kind of like combo-ish or slower deck. But I think it's going to be struggling against decks that are going under it. Yeah, which is exactly goblins. I think even elves would be probably pretty good against this deck, but maybe that's not the case. Alright, there is Mother of Runes that's just gonna die to this fanatic. If I attack, I wonder if he blocks, because, you know, at any point I can just shoot it, so he just should do it, but I guess we will see what happens. Okay, there is a land. It means we can play Siege Gang. He's pretty likely to have one more mana leak, given the fact that he used the first one so aggressively on this sharpshooter, which wasn't really doing that much. But, oh, he just took it. Yeah, that's just a mistake, because if he blocks these two creatures straight, but I can just make the trade at any point. I can just sacrifice the fanatic. So he just took 1 damage for no reason. This is actually a scenario that comes up pretty often in Magic, where like you don't want to make the trade, so you just don't do it, but you just don't realize that like your opponent can just do it at any point. You should just take the trade even though you don't like the trade. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna search for a forest, even though it's pretty weird because I do have this neutralize in my hand. The 1 damage can certainly matter, and I don't really think I need a third red source, though it could matter with the Siege Gang, but I think that if the Siege Gang resolves, the game is over anyway. Okay, so he does have a second mana leak. We're actually getting to a point where I might be able to hardcast Pyrokinesis, which doesn't really happen very frequently, but it might actually happen this game. At this point, I'm just not gonna 2-for-1 myself for no reason. Like, I already have 5 mana, I'm just not gonna pitch anything to this. Maybe if he plays Mother of Runes and I really need to kill it, but I don't even know, like, maybe if I draw like Mock, the Goblin Lucky, maybe I would do it, but... Flying protection from red. Well, that's pretty good. I'll give him that. Richard on port. I'm actually gonna tap his blue-white land. He has 3 colorless lands, and you know, that might potentially stop him from having counterspell up or something. Also, I kind of want him to activate a factory so that I can neutralize it. He didn't do that. That's kind of weird. Is he gonna do it now? He's doing it now, so like... He didn't use the mana from this. Maybe he just misclicked or something, or he didn't have a stop or something. Like, I don't know, but he should have just done that. I think I'm gonna neutralize this. I know that, you know, if he plays like a circle of protection red, then I lose the neutralize. But he's actually attacking me for a bunch, and I'm nowhere near killing him. So just preserving my life will make sense to me. I would probably neutralize it anyway at some point, so might as well do it now. Right, there's the land. At this point, I think I'm just gonna be porting his factory and wait for his Pyrokinesis, because if he draws like a creature, maybe I can get both the factory and the creature with a Pyrokinesis. Also, this port is like pretty good against the factories. But yeah, this game, it's not looking great. This is gonna be pretty hard to beat. Should I Pyrokinese it? So like, the problem is I tap it. In response, he activates the second factory, and just pumps it. And this is like a good window to use the 6 mana. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna kill it actually. Maybe I should wait until the end step and just like take the damage, because if he drew X1, I can get both, but then I would take free damage only for that reason. I don't really think I want to do that. Right, we drew War Chief. It doesn't really seem great, so I'm actually kind of glad that I got it. I got it when I was sideboarding. Given how the game is playing out, like I should have probably had the third Siege Gang over the second War Chief even. You know, if obviously I don't know which one of the War Chiefs it would be. I could have just drawn the one that I would have in my deck anyway. But it's just kind of a thing where, like, you know, if I just drew Siege Gang instead of War Chief here, that would be a lot better. So, you know, maybe that's where I lost the game. Ooh. Well, that's a really good draw. Okay, so Matron. Oh, it's one cheaper. I forgot about the War Chief's ability. Okay, hopefully he doesn't have a counter spell. That would suck. I think, what is this? Absorb? What was he oh, he was like thinking about whether he should counter whatever I find with the Matron. Well, that doesn't really make any sense. I'm pretty far behind, but I'm still not gonna scoop. Like, this deck has some insane turns that it can potentially have. I can just draw another Matron, go find Pile Driver, then hit like 4 Goblins, and suddenly we're back in. But I'm definitely losing this game as it is. Also, now the Mother of Runes is active. He has another, you know, protection guy in play. Like, it's gonna be pretty tough, but I still think I'm in it. Well, there's the Goblin Lucky. It's also possible that I should board out some of these, but I just don't really think that that's a good idea. The card obviously seems really bad, like in this kind of a spot, but just the upside on it means that overall it's just good enough to have in your deck. I think some games you're just gonna play turn 1 and you just win. I think that's enough for the card to be good enough. It's like Ragavan in Modern or whatever. It just seems really bad a lot of the times where they just like Bowmaster you or whatever. But the games where you just play on turn 1 on the play and you just win makes up for those times. It's all just about your overall win percentage, just as is everything in Magic. So you kind of have to think about it that way, I think. Alright, we drew a Fanatic. I actually didn't tap his factory for some reason, which is pretty awkward now. Because I'm still gonna do it, I think, because I can just attack here, tap the factory, and if he blocks with Mother, I can just like trade. And if he uses the ability, I can just shoot it with Fanatic. But yeah, like it's pretty awkward that I didn't tap it. Like, I tapped it for like 5 turns in a row, but then I just kinda brain farted and I didn't do it, and now it's pretty awkward. He's hitting me for 2, but now we at least kind of racing. He's hitting me for 2, I'm hitting him for 3, but I'm at a lower life total. But it's not looking like that grim. Problem is that he has 2 cards in his hand. It's like probably one of them is a counter spell or whatever. So, you know, I still think I'm definitely losing, but it's not looking as bad as it was. There's a chill. That stops my like explosive draws, but I can still cast most of my cards. It just stops the chain potentially. Okay, so I can like... I think I'm gonna do that. I can like shoot the mother, he's gonna pro red, but then I shoot it with a fanatic. I still do draw a card. Also remember that I still have this lucky in play, so I can still put the goblins into play through the lucky, which goes around the chill nicely potentially. Yeah, the chill doesn't really seem that impressive here. Something good, please. Wasteland isn't the worst, I suppose. It's pretty bad. Like the factory was taken care of with this port, so that didn't actually accomplish that much. It only stops future factories, but he already used 3, which means that I should probably just stop his tower on his upkeep. Maybe he will have some chain of like impulses or whatever. I just think it's better. The only reason to not do that would be that he would rule the 4th factory, and even if that would be the case, I can just stop it on my turn again. So overall, I think it's better, but it's really a minor thing. Another mother. Something good, please. So if I cast it, he can just counter spell me of some sort, but I deal 2 extra damage. I think I'm far enough behind that I should just cast it, but obviously it can definitely backfire. I can still pay for mana leak, so it's just counter spell basically. I think it was like pretty likely that he has it, but like not for sure. And I'm far enough behind where I should just take my chance to take 2 extra damage. If the game was closer, maybe that would be different, but I really think I need this 2 extra damage to be able to win this game, so let's just do that. Right. No. So do I want to sacrifice a lucky to deal? Yeah, probably. I still think I should attack here, even though he can just eat my lucky, because that basically means I throw away the lucky for 4 damage. Also next turn I have a little attack, so maybe he will not. He will have to keep the thermal glider back. I'm already at 5 life, so I think this attack makes sense. If he doesn't have anything, we're basically at a stalemate, because he just can't attack me, and I have a lot of really good draws. But drawing a land here is pretty bad. He is probably drawing lands too, like I'm not complaining. But if I just drew a spell there, that would be so good. What you got? Another land, that's good. Something good, please. Yeah, that doesn't do anything. 4, 5. Gonna play the land. I actually have 8 mana, so I can play Pyrokinesis even through the chill. That's just ridiculous. He probably boarded out all of those X1s, so his Pyrokinesis definitely doesn't seem great. Like this game, instead of the 2 Pyrokinesis, if I just drew another Siege Gang and a War Chief, I think I would have won pretty easily. I can actually end of turn just... I could have just Pyrokinesis him and he would have died, right? Am I an idiot? Well, I'm still gonna do it. But yeah, I just didn't realize that I could have just cast Pyrokinesis and kill him. He probably has a counter spell, so it doesn't matter, but yeah. Yep. I was kind of smelling that he had that anyway, so it probably didn't matter, but ooh. Are you dead? Nice. We're gonna play one more. I'm just gonna message him to challenge me again. Alright, we wanna play. We do have a turn 1 lucky. That's always great. And it seems like it's gonna hit. Wow. I don't think I've ever in my life actually hit them with lucky. I've played Goblins a bunch of times, but it just never, like literally never happens. Obviously your opponent is trying to do everything in their power to stop that, so it makes sense, but you know. Okay, so I'm just gonna put a Siege King into play. Turn 2. And I even have this Prospector. So I can actually play War Chief now if I really want to, but given that it has haste, I guess there's no point in doing it immediately. I guess one reason to do it is that he could maybe counter spell, like have counter mana up. But I lose one extra goblin because I can maybe just use this red mana to play it. Let's just wait. I was about to say that, like, because it has haste and you can just take goblin at any point, it doesn't actually matter whether I put it into play this turn or next turn. So it's basically question of like, do I want to sack the extra goblin? Do I want to play around Mana Leak? To be honest, I just don't really want to think about it that much because I just don't think it matters that much. But ooh, that was a great draw. So do we want to do it now? I don't really think so. I think I want to keep the goblins. I can just put the war chiefs into play via the lucky. Yeah, let's just attack here. If he activates the factory, I can just kill it with a goblin. Alright. This just feels great. I think this is a really good matchup for us. So it's not like this necessarily means that you know, Andres' deck is like rebels are bad. But I think I'm still gonna play the war chief here. I can run into a Mana Leak that in a turn where he wouldn't really do anything if his only play is Mana Leak. But I think that like if this exchange happens, he's pretty screwed. If I don't play it, he can maybe like impulse into something better. And it's not like this war chief is really that important. So you can it just kind of stops the impulse. And even if he Mana Leaks it, it doesn't really like bothers me that much. So I think it's just better to put it into play. Yeah. Alright, he just doesn't have anything. What the heck? Alright, that was pretty easy. So given that the way he sideboarded last time, I actually think I want to go more mid-rangey in a sense where I just want to have like more individually strong cards. It seems like we're gonna like change 1-for-1 a lot. He's just gonna sword or Mana Leak or counterspell a lot of my like cards that are better with other cards, or like the payoffs I should say, and then I can just be stuck with a bunch of random goblins that don't really do anything. Like maybe as we saw the last game, just like I had this lucky in play that just wasn't really doing that much. And it seems like the pyrokinesis and stuff aren't that great. I'm not even sure I want this sharpshooter. I guess it's good against Mother of Runes. Kind of. Still probably good enough. But free neutralize this seems like a good number. Maybe I should even want the 4-1. He can just very easily go like turn 2 chill and I'm gonna be screwed. He can even Enlighten Tutor for it, and he does have the factories, which I didn't consider last time. Also, last time I didn't even consider these Pyroblasts, honestly, but I just don't really think that they are that great. They can help you fight through like a mana leak or whatever, but not really sure that that's what we need. Though, like, obviously, if you go like Ringleader plus Pyroblast, that can be pretty good. Maybe I should have like a couple. The War Chief seemed pretty bad. Let's just get that. Prospector, I don't like. I'll try a Goblin King and a Third Pyroblast, I guess. By the way, this version of the deck is only playing 3 Gempalm Incinerators. Is that a normal thing? Isn't that card just great? I'm kind of confused. I understand that it's like not good against decks that don't have creatures, but you can always cycle it and just like, you know, it works really well with Lucky. In most matchups, it's just gonna be a 2/1 for 2 mana. Like, I don't know, it just seems great to me. I don't really understand. Alright, there's turn 1 Mother of Runes, but fortunately we have a turn 1 Fun. I think that might be actually like one of the main reasons to play this card. Just kill Mother of Runes. But you know, against elves, you just kill an elf. Against the burn deck, they have like Grim Lava Monster and Jackal Pup. So yeah, Fanatic seems pretty good. There's the chill. I think I was kind of forced to use the Fanatic there, like just holding up Pyroblast in case they have turn 2 chill. Ooh, I just feel so smart now. I don't know why, but it just feels great. Obviously gonna do it on my turn so that it doesn't get countered. I'm sure this was the 4th one that I added during sideboarding, you know. Actually, sometimes when I'm like not sure about the numbers, I put different versions of a card in the deck so that I can see, like, you know, I just kind of make this point in my head, like this is the 4th copy or whatever, like this version of a card. And when I draw it, I'm like, oh, okay, would this actually be better? If it was something different, would it be better and stuff like that? It's kind of it's kind of weird, but you know, it can kind of help you get an idea. I'm sure I'm gonna get flamed for that because you know it doesn't really make sense, but it's just kind of how I do things. Just because something like happens in Magic doesn't necessarily mean, like, even if it was good, doesn't necessarily mean that it's good overall. Magic is a game full of variance, so you know, just because for example, in the example I was saying before, just because I drew the 4th copy doesn't necessarily like mean anything, but at least it gives you like some idea. All right, so what do we want to search for? I definitely think I need an answer for this. So I should just search for another Fanatic maybe. Maybe next turn I can go Matron plus Fanatic. Alternatively, I can just shoot it with the Incinerator, but then I can't play the Matron. But I am up a card. It's probably better. Alright. Problem with this is that he can sort my Matron in the play and then I don't actually kill it, but I don't think that's what's going to happen. He's probably just gonna be using this, right? Oh, he doesn't have a 4 untap land. Okay, that's pretty good. But yeah, now we're kind of in a danger where he can just source this in response and then I don't actually kill this. But if I search for Fanatic, he could have counterspelled me. I guess I had a Pyroblast up. Did I mess up? Might have messed up, guys. Yeah, I'm pretty afraid that that's what's going to happen, so I guess I'm gonna let him use this one turn, and I'm just gonna play Matron and Pyroblast, whatever he's gonna counter it with. He's gonna be able to search for the 2/1 protection guy, which is pretty annoying, but that, you know, I can just kinda maybe slam Ringleader next turn, and then he will be forced to counter it. Maybe he will not be able to use this for a while. I don't think this all is end of the world. But searching for Fanatic was probably better. Maybe not. Oh. Sorry guys. I'm not really used to playing lands on Magic Online. Right, Matron. Do I search for the Fanatic now? I'm not really sure, because he's probably gonna counter the Ringleader, which I'm just gonna slam next turn. And then I don't really have that much going on after that. So maybe just searching for another Ringleader is better. Yeah. I mean, it's the strongest Goblin in the deck if you have mana for it. This just means more cards. Some of the cards might even be the Fanatic. I just think it kind of makes sense to search for it, honestly. And like, if he has a counter, he kind of has to counter this, I think. So I kind of have to decide whether I want to keep Wasteland up or a red up, because I can just hit a 1-mana Goblin from the Ringleader. I don't really think that wastelanding this turn is that important. I'm probably like one of these. I kind of assume that one of these two Ringleaders is gonna resolve, which means that my hand is going to be full. So I think I don't really wanna exchange lands. Just the mana sources are going to be more important for me, I think. So in that case, I'm just gonna do it like this. Let's see what he does. Here we kind of see what I was talking about before, where I drew the second Neutralize, but he just doesn't really have that many targets, so it's not very good. But I think it makes sense to have 4 in the deck, but it just kind of showcased what I was talking about before. Like, if he didn't have the factories in his deck, even with the chills and the circle of protection rate, I would still have only 3, I think. The factory is not really a great target because you can easily answer it with these two, but it kind of justifies the 4th copy, I think. All right. Here I am gonna keep up the Wasteland, I think. Should I tap the Carlton Forest? I might want to neutralize this. Unlikely. Then I just take 1 damage here for no reason. Yeah. Right, let's do it like this. Blue Elemental Blast. Well, that's pretty annoying because that still leaves him with enough mana to activate this. I don't think I'm actually gonna attack here because he's just gonna search for the protection guy and he's gonna eat one of my Matrons. So I'm just gonna pass. I'm gonna wait for him to activate this, and after he searches for something, I will use the Incinerator. Because that might change what he searches for. Like if he oh, he actually knows about Incinerator, right? Yeah, in that case, should that... We're pretty screwed here. These rebels just kind of chain into each other. I'm not really going to be able to stop the chain. Yeah, I think I just messed up the turn where I didn't search for a Fanatic. That was pretty key. Alright, well. Yeah, now I'm pretty screwed. Now I'm pretty screwed. I might just go after his blue sources, maybe? Yeah, it doesn't really matter. I kinda wanna just scoop here, but I know I shouldn't, so I'm not going to. But we're getting to a point where I just know I'm gonna lose, but I just have to keep playing because I have these like insane chains in my deck that can potentially happen. Though 2 of my ringleaders are already gone, so you know it's pretty unlikely. But at least we're gonna observe the rebel thing do its thing. Right, he did search for that guy. Yeah, I'm gonna give it like maybe 1 or 2 more draw steps. If I don't draw anything relevant, I think I'm just gonna concede. This is not really that entertaining for me. I think you all get the idea. He's just gonna be continuously searching for rebels, and eventually just overwhelm me. But that's just what it is. I guess I'm gonna port the factory. I might draw some super expensive card, and then it can be awkward that I didn't do that. So, well, that's a good start. All right, all right. Let's shoot it now because depending on what he searches for, I might want to attack. But yeah, here you just see the power of Incinerator. It's just a 2-mana Terminate that also draws a card. Like, I just don't understand how the deck doesn't play 4 copies. Oh, I see. Well, that makes sense. It's actually passable. I should have just passed. Maybe he would search for something else. And then I would just shoot this one, so I would stop the chain. But I did draw a ringleader, so I'm happy I didn't do that. I was just about to say that I was like, I'm probably behind enough that I should do it on main phase because I need to draw into something good. But I wasn't sure, but then I drew the ringleader. Well, that was unfortunate. I'm still just gonna attack with everything, I think. Because that just makes this pile driver huge. So he either just jumps with this, or he just takes infinite damage. 3, 5, 7, 9. Yeah, he has to block the pile driver, I think. Wow. Am I gonna win this game? It seems like it now. Puts it on the bottom, sure. That means that he's probably jumping with it. I mean, he has to, right? Right, pass the turn. And now he's pretty dead. It's not like the pile driver went anywhere. He just jumped. He didn't even trade it. He has this 2-1 protection from red, which is annoying. But, you know, he lost his engine. And I have a lot of really good draws in my deck. Even the second pile driver might be kinda enough. I can just all attack next turn and... What is happening? Did I lose like connection or something? It doesn't let me play the card. Okay. It seems like my internet has frozen for a couple seconds, but... He's activating factory for who knows what reason. And he's doing it again. Well, I guess I'm gonna take this opportunity to just... Should I do that? He can top deck Circle of Protection Red, and that's gonna be pretty awkward. yeah, there's just no reason to risk that, right? I just wanted to say that I was about to say that maybe I should just fire this Naturalize given the opportunity, but I can just easily answer these factories with this Wasteland Import, and if you just top deck Circle of Protection Red, I'm gonna feel really stupid for using the Naturalize that way, so I should really not do that. Okay, now I can just end of turn port. You can Wasteland at any point, so there is no reason to do it immediately. I can just wait for him to activate a factory that will cost him 1 extra mana. It's not like it matters, but Wasteland just doesn't really have any real cost. It's like the Fanatic, you can just do it at any point. So just do it at the point where when you want to do it. Right, I won. All right. Those were 2 matchups. I won pretty convincingly 2-0 both times. I actually had a lot of fun playing the Goblin deck. I think there is a lot more to it than maybe people give it credit for. There's definitely a lot of interesting decisions, even though, you know, obviously some games you're just gonna go lucky into a 5-drop, or you just attack a bunch and it's not really that skill intensive, but there can definitely be many skill intensive games, I think. And I also think that you know, maybe the sideboard and the main deck you can kind of adjust it based on your expected metagame and stuff like that. So definitely understanding the deck can help you a lot to you know, maybe win more than other people with it. So yeah, if you like the video, don't forget to give us a subscribe on YouTube and like, and maybe leave a comment on which other deck would you like me to play or whatever. Anything that, you know, you would like to see or that I should change in maybe the way I speak and stuff like that. Anything is helpful. And yeah, I will see you next time with future videos. Bye.